Hey viewers, how's it going? My name is DividableHalo. Today I am joined by Shakey Divine from Exodus. How are you doing today?
I'm doing just fine. How are you?
I'm pretty swell and nice and good today. Alright, so for today's interview, we're going to ask you a series of questions. And our first question I'm going to be asking you is, when did you first join the Halo clan community?
I first joined the Halo clan community with the second week after Halo 2 came out. I have been around for a very long time, yet I have not been, I guess you could say, significant until I would say early 2012 when I joined UUF and I worked my way through the ranks and I became the general of the Marine Corps there, and my name at the time was Shakey Divine. And so I've kind of just been working my way through, just moving through the community. I went from the UUF to where did I go after the UUF? I was in a Sangheili clan for a little bit, maybe for a month or two. It was called Celestial Defiance. It was run by a guy named Zareth Morami, or otherwise known as Zoran Zoltanis, and I was in there for a little bit, and I soon took control of that clan because he couldn't handle his own clan, and I could, so I took control of his clan, and that's where I met Sergeant Rorschach. I met a bunch of other guys, and that's why even to this day, Rorschach will randomly call me Vor because my name at that time was Vor Zoltanro, and so I went from there. Then after that, I joined a clan called Nexus. It was run by Ghost Protocol. When I joined there, at the time, he kind of had a hybrid structure going, and he automatically made me the Spartan 2 leader, even though I had no clue how to be a Spartan or I had nothing, no knowledge of UNSC or any of that. Yet I was made the Spartan 2 leader, so I thought that was pretty cool. But so he made me the Spartan 2 leader, and immediately right when I joined, I was different than all of them because I actually joined and got shit done. I ran trainings every day. I recruited people every day. I was just the guy to go to if you wanted anything done in that clan. And unfortunately, around 3 or 4 times, Ghost Protocol bailed on us and basically left us there alone, and then came back like maybe a week or two later and like was our leader again. But then one time that he did it, I decided, you know what, that's enough. You're just not going to come back. And so then he wasn't the only person who made Nexus. It was a group of them. It was him, Larcenation, Booga Joe, Arctic Combust, and I think a couple others. I can't remember all their names, but they actually invited me into a party, just them, and they asked me if I wanted to be leader and if I wanted to recreate Nexus in my own name. And so we recreated Nexus and called it New Nexus. And it was very basic, it wasn't original because it's just calling it New Nexus, still keeping the original name. And so then they made me leader, and I was leader of New Nexus for about 6 months. And then just due to personal issues in my real life and just I had a lot of stuff going on, I could no longer lead. And instead of letting everyone down easy and just being like, hey, just find a new leader, I just went inactive. And I kind of left everyone. I kind of abandoned everyone. And still to this day, it's something that it sucks. Like, it sucks to think about. But I came back, and I decided I am ready to lead again. I'm ready to lead a clan. I know how to do it better than a lot of people. So I decided to start up Exodus. And from the get-up, we knew that we were different. We have so many people from so many different backgrounds that have just given us our name and just made us different in every way. We have people from old DGA. We have guys from NavCom. We have guys just from all over the community, and it's awesome because it's like we're a family. We're honestly a clan that's different than any other out there because we're not just around for business. We're not just around to dominate. We're not just around for typical clan stuff. We're around for each other's company. We're around to enjoy the game. We're around to do things that other clans just can't, because we have the resources. We have the ability, the capabilities to do things that other clans just can't. So, I mean, I guess that's the best way to sum up my clan experience.
All right. So your first clan was UUF, right?
In the Halo Reach community, yeah.
All right. So you were in the clan community from Halo 2, you said, or no? Was that
Yeah,
when you
the
first started
first,
playing?
no, yeah, no. The first clan I ever joined was 2 weeks after Halo 2 came out, and I joined KSI. And at that time, KSI claimed to have over 3,000 people on Halo 2. Obviously, some people will say that that's an exaggerated number because they couldn't prove how many people they had, but they had 30,000 people signed up on their website, and they had more than 3,000 people signed up on their like Halo 2 section, on their Halo 2 division. So that's how they kept track, and there was more than 3,000 of us. And um, when I joined KSI, it wasn't maybe about a month or two. I ended up getting kicked out because I was a kid. I was a squeaker. At that time, I think I was 11. I'm 19 now. And I think at that time I was 11 or 12, and I was a squeaker, just like any other guy. But so I don't remember what I got kicked out for. I'm pretty sure I got into an argument with the captain, and he ended up kicking me out. But clans were structured differently back then than how they are now. They were most similar to military clans just because of how military clans go for bulk. They go for quantity. They, not to say that we don't go for quality. It's just like that's the first thing that we think about. Instead of being like Navcom and trying to weed them out when they first join, we take in mass amounts of people and we slowly weed them out of the clan. We slowly try to find the gems, but we still keep the rest. It's just that we kind of reward and we kind of give more chances to the guys who actually have potential, like the guys who want it enough. And back then, that's kind of how it was, because clans back then were 3 times the size that they were nowadays. And how everyone talks about in the Halo Reach community, oh, Sovereign Guard and Vanguard, it's either one of those, all those Sang Healy clans. Those clans were around when I was in clans, but they weren't popular. They were not, because I remember hearing about them, like when I was on Halo 2 and all that good stuff, but they were not the clans that people consider popular, oh, because they've been around for so long. Well, they were really not that known, because I mean, I've heard of them a couple times before. That's why their names sounded familiar to when I got to the Halo Reach community. They were like, oh, Vanguard and the Sovereign Guard and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, that sounds familiar. I think I've heard of them before. But there were clans before that no one's heard about on the Halo Reach community that were so much stronger than any other clan that's up right now. Like after I was in KSI, I joined the RTG. And RTG was rising to glory. We were a badass clan. It was so fun, because even though we were half the size of KSI, we only had around like 1,500 people in total. KSI in total had a lot more than 3,000, because that was just on Halo 2. They had other clans on other games, like other divisions on other games. So when I joined RTG, it was interesting, just because it was just a different experience. I met so many of my best friends there. I have maybe one friend that I still remember, and he's been on my friends list and my friend on Xbox for 7 years. And his name is Star Striker 197. His old gamer tag used to be Warstar 198. And I've known for 7 years. I've known him since the beginning. I think since the end of Halo 2, I met him. It's been around 7 years, I think. It's been a really long time. But I met some of my best friends on there on Xbox. And then I had my friends in real life doing clans with me, which just makes it so much more fun. When you have your friends in real life join your clans and like you guys get to do some shit, and then it just makes it so much more interesting. So I had that in RTG too. So really, I tell people that the first clan I ever joined was KSI, but my true clan that I first joined was RTG. And if there's anyone still in the community that was in RTG and my name at that time was RTG Lord of War, and I it was just it was a good experience. I loved it, and but I've been trying to look for people who have been in the community for that long. But honestly, it's rare to find someone that is still playing that did clans from back then, because I'm one of few. Like there's really not that many people. So yeah.
All right. So Halo 3 was that when like RTG was around or no?
Yeah, no, RTG started on Halo 2. It was run by RTG God and RTG Goddess. And then basically the second in command was RTG Foxhound. And they started it on Halo 2, and it rose quickly. It was a very, very good big clan. But being in a big clan like that, you like everyone like what people ask me with Exodus. They're like Divine, you have we have over 230 people. I've added it all up, all for the rosters, and I actually did it 2 days ago. I added up all the rosters, and I think it's exactly 234 people. People always ask me, Divine, your clan's really big, but I don't want to join because I feel like I'm not going to get noticed. Me personally, I have been trained. I have been just used to having to be like that odd man out when it comes to clans that are so much bigger than even Exodus. Like I was in RTG and we had over 1,500 people. I had to sit in the lobby and wait for 45 minutes to an hour just to get into a lobby with my own clan. Like imagine that. Imagine that's like being on standby for a raid. Like you had to wait. You had to wait almost an hour just to get into a game with your own clan. So that just goes to show, like it was really hard to get noticed, and the kids nowadays have no clue. Like they take for granted that they can just join up with their clan, and we can play with each other every day and just do so much stuff and get so much stuff done. When it used to be, there were two forms of discipline. You either got demoted or you got kicked out. And then there was no such thing as crouch slaps. There was no such thing as raids. I remember when I joined the Halo Reach community, and you guys tried to like I had like Halo Reach kids like try to explain to me like what raids were. I could not fathom the concept. I couldn't get it. Well, I'm like, wait. So if you're defending a base and another clan joins, why not just kick them from the game if they're trying to take your base? Like that doesn't make sense. Like why not just go play them? Like why not just go like 4v4 them or something? At that time I wasn't into BTB. I really didn't think 8v8s mattered, and I really didn't think they showed any skill. I'm obviously different now, but just then it was just different. Like I just thought you do clan battles. I didn't know what raids were. Wait, you mean to tell me there's another way you can prove your clan's strength? That's so fucking weird. It was just all this stuff was weird to me because of how clans used to be. So but yeah, it's just RTG was a interesting clan, and they were started on Halo 2. We moved to Halo 3, and that was kind of a weird change because when Halo 3 came out, I couldn't afford. Well, I didn't get. It's not that I couldn't afford. It's just that my parents weren't getting me a 360, and they said that I'm not getting one until Christmas, so I had to wait a couple months. So by the time I got a 360 and got Halo 3 and got on the game, so many of my friends had already left RTG, and luckily, one of my best friends, his name was RTG Shady, and he was still in RTG, and he kind of like showed me around and like introduced me to all the new people, but I kind of had to start off from square one. I had to start out from the bottom and work my way up, and it sucked, but I mean, we only lasted for about maybe 4 or 5 months after that because they couldn't cope without that clan feature, because on the old Halo 2 there was that clan feature. There was the clan menu, and you could make your own clan. You had like the high rank of Overlord and all these other weird ranks, and there was the clan option on Halo 2, but obviously there is no clan option on Halo 2 Anniversary. There's just like the clan tag, and that's it. But so they didn't know how to cope with just dealing with silver accounts, like dealing with squad tags and stuff like that. They didn't understand rosters, like making silver accounts and making them into rosters. They couldn't understand that, and they couldn't work it to that point. So we ended up falling, and I ended up joining a clan called UGN. My name at that time was UGN Divinity, and I ran that clan, and I was a recruiting whore in that clan. I remember in one day, people always tell me I'm lying when I say, but I actually had a friend with me. He's actually one of my best friends in real life. I had a friend with me. We recruited almost 100 people in one day because the leader of the clan gave me a time limit. He's like, hey, Divinity, we only have 25 people on the UGN Livewire tag. I need you to get it up to 50 by Monday. And at that time, it was only Friday. So me and my friend, right after that game, right after we talked to him, we went to work. Within 5 or 6 hours, we filled up the roster. Because recruiting back then, people were a lot more interested in clans than they are nowadays. And so that made it easier. It also made it easy because we would recruit one person. That person would recruit 2 people. Those 2 people would recruit 2 people. And it just, we basically had a whole recruiting tree going. And we had lobbies on lobbies on lobbies. And we just would not stop. And we ended up getting and filling up the roster within 5 or 6 hours. Unfortunately, the next day, we get on, the roster is down to 60 people because the people we recruited were just bullshitters. Like they didn't really care. They didn't want to be in a clan. It's just that we pitched a good speech to them at first. We told them what they wanted to hear, but then they ended up obviously not getting invited to games. They obviously saw something they didn't like, so they ended up leaving the clan. So then that was that, and I kind of just, after UGN fell, it fell for its own reasons, just how any other clan does, just stuff happens, and it ended up falling, and then I attempted to lead my own clans for a while, but me still being a squeaker at that point, I was only like 13 or 14, but I was still a squeaker. So I tried to run my own clans, and that ended up not working out, so I just kept working my way through, and like I said, I ended up on Halo Reach, and now I'm here.
Alright, so quick question. What was the UGN's full name?
Oh, the UGN. Oh, that's right. The UGN nowadays. That's what I always make fun of, the UGN nowadays, because they're not the original UGN. The UGN back then was the actual United Gaming Nation. The actual United Gaming Nation. The United Golden Nation. I remember when I first heard it, I thought it was the dumbest name I've ever heard. But I mean, obviously, it sticks. It's a good name. I'm just saying, when I first heard it, me being in the original UGN, I'm like, what the fuck? United Golden Nation? What is that supposed to mean? Like, that just sounds like a cocky name, like United Golden. I just didn't quite understand why someone would name it that, but now I do. It's a good name. Like, it sticks, and I understand. But just then, it was hard understanding, just because I was in the original one and we were called the United Gaming, and it made sense. You're on a video game, you're united, and you're a nation. Like, it just made sense. So, but yeah.
Alright, so going back to Exodus, you basically have been in St. Healy, UNSC, and military. What inspired you to make Exodus into a military clan?
Military clans work the best. We even though Navcom has been around for a long time, they are not, I don't consider them, I've never considered them a power. I've never considered them a power. I remember I saw a comment that a post that Z4 put on the Halo Clan community page. He posted something like, "What do you guys think makes a true power?" And I think it was literally Dave. Dave, he posted on the post, he gave a really long description on what he thinks a power is. and there's like basically 5 categories. I don't know if these match up with him, but my 5 categories are um, military strength, which is like raids and all that kind of stuff. Then your competitive, your media. Uh, See, the other ones are debatable just because you could honestly just say it's those three. You can honestly just say it's those three. It's your military strength, it's your media, and it's your competitive. If you have the three of those, then you're good. And when I say military strength, that just brings in like quantity, like how many people you have in your clan. I don't consider someone a power if they don't have even 70 people. Um, it's just military strength brings in a lot of other factors, which is why you can narrow it down to only 3: competitive, military, and media. So far, Navcom, besides I've talked to a couple Navcom guys, and they even said it was funny that they don't really, they have a bunch of guys that do their own media and that have a bunch of subscribers and stuff, but Navcom doesn't have a central Navcom media from what I know. They don't have Navcom media. They don't have like their own thing. It's just that them getting shouted out by other clans, like other clans posting stuff about them. They have good. I would say just because of that, yeah, they have good media. Military strength, they're very good at raids. They are the only reason why it makes it fun to be Exodus, because they make it fun on the battlefield, because they are our biggest competition. There is no other clan that is as much competition as Navcom, and I give them that. They are very good at raids. But when we're talking about now, if we're talking about 2015 powers, Navcom technically can't become a power. They don't do competitive. And I talked to Rorschach, and I talked to a bunch of others. I'm really cool with Rorschach. He's bae. I like Volsini. I like Nine Lives. I like Blades of Doom. I like a bunch of other Navcom guys. But I talked to Rorschach, and he's telling me that he doesn't do competitive on Halo Reach, yet I see videos of Joshua and Anton 2v2ing BA Sanguinius. I see all these other games of 8v8s and all that kind of stuff, but yet they won't 8v8 me when I challenge them. And it's just it's annoying, because I mean, if I don't think I've ever heard them claim themselves a power, but I'm just telling you that I personally don't think Navcom's a power, because they can't be. You have to have every category, in my opinion, to be a power. And right now, Exodus, I would consider us a power just because we have every category. You can ask us to do anything and we'll do it. But there are at some points when stuff happens and we can't. Just like every other clan, like Drama. Perfect example, FN Fatality. He runs, and I don't think it's even called FN anymore. I think it's called Ascension or Ascending or something like that. He challenged me to 4v4, but recently we lost 2 of our main 4v4 guys, like 2 of our starting lineup guys. And so I had to tell him, hey, we got to restructure and then we'll get right back to you. Like, when stuff like that happens, that's understandable. But when you tell me, no, we don't do competitive on a Halo Reach game because it's a 5-year-old game, but come to MCC and we'll 8v8 or 4v4 you. What do you mean? It's for fun. It's an 8v8 or a 4v4 for fun. It creates activity. Why do we have to just be going to war just to be doing raids to create activity when we can do 8v8s and 4v4s and give all of our sweaties, get all of our MLG and 8v8 sweaties a chance to prove themselves, a chance to help out in the war? Like, that doesn't make sense, but obviously they're not going to agree to it because they don't want to. So, but and I have no problem with that. I understand they don't have the people that get on Halo Reach enough maybe to do it. Maybe they don't have that good of people to do it. You never know. It could be a bunch of factors. But so I don't know. I think I went so off track. I think I forgot your question.
The question I think asked was basically why you decided to be.
Military. Honestly, I love military. I loved it in the UUF. Yeah, I don't like Strike now. I don't like a couple other people now, but back then I loved them. It's funny because Sentry Smash, he was my general in the UUF, and it's funny, he's now in my clan, and his name is Shakey Riddick, and he's a badass commando who loves DI and conscripts. And so it's just like funny how that turned out, how he's like one of my best friends on Xbox, and how he's now one of my commandos, which is pretty fucking badass. So I like how it turned around. So military all the way, honestly, just because we I personally, just through all of the clan experience that I just explained, I personally think military works better. That UNSC has its ups and its downs. I'm not going to say that it's a bad system. I just don't think that it works as well as military. Just because it just seems like military, you get more of on a personal level with people. Military, you get to meet so many people. Military, the ranking structure is very, very easy to explain to even the dumb guys. Even the dumb guys, it's very easy. It's like, hey, just go look up the U.S. military ranks, and there you go. There you go. That'll answer your question. You can do a similar thing with UNSC base, but it's harder to explain it to the dumber recruits. Like, and I'm not saying that all recruits are dumb. I'm just saying that some of them are not the smartest, and you have to explain it and get them in and all that kind of stuff. But so I personally think that military is just more organized and more structured. Now, when we're talking about discipline, I think that UNSC clans have that on us. I think that UNSC clans are more disciplined. Now, people judge my clan, they judge Exodus, and try to say that we are not the most disciplined. I beg to differ. We have over 230 people, so obviously there's going to be some people who aren't as disciplined as the next guy. But when it comes to our main guys who are supposed to be disciplined, they are. They are as disciplined as they need to be. I don't think that it's the funnest thing making people crouch and all over the map, but I mean, we still get things done. So all in all, I think military just works the best.
All right. So we're going to talk about a topic I think that kind of made Exodus or the Halo Reach or the Halo clan community in total more active, and that was the Triad versus the SDA war. Now,
Okay.
now was that war created just to create activityness within the community?
Literally, that war was created for shits and giggles. It was created because at that time, Navcom came back to Reach, and they're like, huh, I see that Exodus is now considering themselves insurrectionists. Well, you see, yeah, we are insurrectionists, but we're a military clan with insurrectionist views. We're not an insurrectionist clan with military views. It's different. It is different. So the war was created for solely the purpose of activity. Yeah, I didn't know that it was going to be Exodus, the 99th, and UUF. Oh God, the UUF versus versus Navcom, UNSF, Seventh Fleet, all the other clans. I didn't know it was going to be that many clans that Rorschach and all those other guys are going to try to bring in. I wasn't expecting that, but I mean, hey, it's been pretty fun. So I've liked it, and yeah, the sole purpose was just for activity.
Now, there's also been a lot of drama over this incident where people like to trash talk each other's clan, but that's like natural. But
Oh,
some
of
people have
course.
like took it like it's a personal war, and it wasn't
And
meant to be.
whoever does that, whoever does that does not need to be in this war, because I have nothing personal against any clan. I have nothing personal against any clan. I cannot say there's a couple clans that I can honestly say that I don't like, but they're random unknown clans that I don't feel like shouting out because it'll just make them even more popular. That's how much I dislike them. But they're all the clans in SDA I don't mind. All of the clans that we're at war with right now, I do not mind. I have no personal vendetta against them. I mean there's some people that I don't really prefer, that I don't prefer to be around or talk to, but I can honestly say that I don't hate any clan. If there's any clan that I love more than any other, it's Navcom, just because they make it fun for us. So, So yeah.
All right. So the Triad Alliance was formed, I believe, shortly after the SDA Alliance.
Yeah. Once we heard that the SDA was in full gears, I was kind of like, you know what? Let me hit up my friends and my friend Century Executive and my Bay Dr. Dre, and let's see what we can do about this. And honestly, I had no idea how dumb executive was until we started this war. How in the fuck do you go into a gas chamber with Navcom, invite them into a gas chamber, and not think that that can be considered a raid? Like they caused us to have 7 or 8 raid losses to the record. And speaking of the record, this is for anyone that's listening right now that actually cares about that record. Let's go ahead and think about what clans started out in the Triad and what clans started out in SDA. So in in Triad, there was the UUF, there was Exodus, and there was a 99th Regiment. Now it's Exodus, 99th Regiment, and HSC because the UUF sucked ass and we voted them out and got HSC because they're a relatively good clan. They are a decent clan that we thought could replace the UUF and actually do something. So we brought them in, but look at how much the SDA has fluctuated. If this is a war that I have said to people and people have said to me that will not end until any of our clans fall. So the only way the Triad is going to win until every clan in the SDA has fallen. And the only way the SDA is going to win until every clan in the Triad has fallen. So far from what it's looking from what it looks like, we're winning. The Triad, the SDA has fluctuated so much in the clans that are in there, and there has been so much internal drama just in the SDA that do they really think that they're going to outlast us? Do they really think that this is what's going to come of it? That just because that Navcom can raid UUF a bunch of times and get some wins on them, and that we can get sneak attacked, and that's the way they're going to win this war? No, that's just not going to happen. I will honestly say Exodus will outlast any clan in the SDA. And Navcom obviously is an iffy, just because they're the oldest clan around right now. Well, not the oldest clan around, they're just the oldest clan in the SDA. That's obviously an iffy, a one that I will probably eat my own words when it comes to them. But when it comes to every other clan, they'll be gone. They'll be gone, and soon it will just be soon, like everyone has assumed, it will eventually just be Exodus and Navcom. That's probably what it would come to. Not to say that 99th will end, not to say that HSC will end, just to say that that's what the conflict has been. Everyone only ever talks about Exodus and Navcom. This war has been Exodus and Navcom. The other clans have just been around to assist, and I've been asking Miller, I've been asking Dre to try to start to do more things with the SDA and try to have more raids with them. But obviously they have their own schedules, and the only way they do their ways that they do things. So that's them. So I'm not gonna. I mean, we can easily do this by ourselves, like Navcom claimed in your interview with Rorschach, that they can handle us by themselves. So far, from what we've seen, no, they can't. They cannot handle us by themselves. Perfect example, when we did that first raid that everyone considered one of the longest raids ever, it was the 23-hour raid, and I remember I was in the game at the time, and it was the time slot that I was in the game. It was all Exodus guys versus almost all Navcom guys, and I remember when the first Navcom guy left, it was about, and then they started switching guys out to where it was just basically like half Navcom and half every other random SDA clan. We maintained just Exodus for about 8 or 9 hours after that. So technically, if we're talking about who can handle who, in every raid that we've been in, Exodus has been able to maintain just having Exodus in the game longer than Navcom's been able to maintain just having Navcom in the game. Like, so far, they have proved that they have to rely more on their allies than we have to rely on ours. So, going back to what Rorschach said, how he said that they can handle us by themselves. Well, when in this video that we just posted today, I explained on our Exodus media page, I joined a game full of Navcom. Nick Snyder, aka Dick Slider, invited me into a private chat, and he basically begged me not to fucking turn this into a raid because he had to go to sleep. Because he wanted to go to sleep, and he didn't want this to turn into a raid because he knows how we do things. I told him, okay, Nick, and I go out of the private chat, and then I just randomly have conversations with them in the game. I don't turn it into a raid. I was a nice guy. But are you kidding me? And then, when 3 times we have joined and tried to sneak attack the UGN, all 3 times when we join the game, they end the game. I'm not that type of guy to be like, oh, that's a raid win. You ended the game. Nope. Yep, we're calling that. No. I'm not going to do that. For now on, I will, because now they know how I stand on it. But come on. If everyone's talking about how there's been so much inactivity in this war, yet I'm trying to sneak attack Navcom and I'm trying to sneak attack UGN when both of them are still in the SDA, what the fuck is wrong with this? Like, what is wrong with other clans? If we're trying to make this war for activity, and I'm trying to create that, why are these clans trying to prevent me from doing that? That's what I've kind of been mad about here recently. It's like, why are we doing this war when neither one of them obviously want to raid us? And I know that people will say, "Oh well, Divine, you haven't challenged them. You haven't sent them a message to be like, hey, let's raid. Hey, let's raid." I mean, yeah, I haven't said that, but a sneak attack is a raid. It's a raid no matter what. And I've tried to do it a total of 4 times now. And UGN kicked us, and then Nick, a Navcom official, a guy who's in Navcom, who usually is the one who we set up our raids with, he told me not to raid. He told me not to do that, and I was just nice and agreed with him. So it's getting pretty annoying.
All right, so going back to basically the SDA, I believe the SDA was only supposed to compose of UNSC clans originally.
Yeah, it was supposed to.
So, what's your opinion on the UGN being part of it?
The UGN, they're traitors to every military clan that's ever been. Michael will have his own opinion about my clan. I don't have anything against Michael. I don't have anything against anyone in that clan. I'm just saying, overall, they are known to me as traitors to the military community. If they want to be buddies with fucking UNSC clans, hey, Michael, how about you switch to a UNSC clan? Switch to a UNSC clan and then be allies and be in a coalition to go against us. Because that doesn't make sense. If it's a coalition that's formed of UNSC clans, why the fuck are you military? That doesn't make sense. And I like how we have our emblem and that the UGN emblem, you know the Triad emblem that the UGN had? It's funny how they have now changed their emblem. Yet that was their emblem. That was like that was their emblem. And yet I honestly think it has something to do with not only Exodus but just the Triad period, that because they had the Triad emblem, they were, I guess, in their own way supporting the Triad because their emblem, it's so much similar to ours. So I honestly think that was the reason why they changed their emblem. But when it comes to the UGN, they're traitors to the military community.
All right, so originally the Triad did have UUF, and you said they sucked, honestly. And I was part of UUF during that time.
Yeah, I remember that, and I didn't understand why you were, but yeah. The UUF has fallen so far. There will be some people to say that the UUF was always bad. No, it wasn't. I'm a 4th generation sentry. There is about 18 generations of sentries now. I was 4th. When I was 4th, there was, they weren't in my generation. These were just the guys that were around. There was Sentry Clay, there was DHG Faux Python, there was Sentry Hawkthorn, Sentry Fidelis, Sentry Smash, Sentry Director. There was all of us. We were a good clan. We were a good clan. And at that time, I had no beef with Director. I respected him as my leader. I had no beef with anyone. He has let the UUF have the worst reputation now. He has let the almighty UUF, the clan that is probably one of the most known in Halo Reach history, he has ruined their reputation permanently. And I regret that one day that I went into the game with him and he was all for going against the UNSC. And I regret doing that because the UUF was not prepared. They were not prepared. They were not prepared to take on what we had to take on. They just weren't. And it sucked just because like it was my clan. Like it was a clan that I used to be in. Like it sucked that we couldn't have like my old clan support us just because they can't even support themselves. Like and I did not agree with that whole party system that he had going. How there was the UUF and weren't you the leader of the other party?
Yeah, the United Union Enterprise.
I did not agree with that. That just creates separation. That creates a I get what you guys were thinking, but you shouldn't have done that. Like it gives everyone a different mindset in your clan. You need to have everyone on the same page. Like if other people don't agree, it's compromising, it's talking it out. You don't need to have two political parties in a fucking clan. That doesn't make sense. Like just all be together, be united, be one clan, be a family. Like there was no need for the party system, and I love the UUF to death. Respect to anyone who was around when I was, but the UUF is it was nowhere near where we needed him to be. He could not control his own clan.
All right. So we're going to move on to another topic. This topic that we're going to be talking about is basically why do you believe there ain't much clans within like the military clans within like the community anymore?
Because none of them. Because there's not many smart leaders. Well, no. There's not many leaders out there that want to try to lead again. Not just even lead again, but attempt leading. I know so many good leaders that could lead an amazing clan, yet they're just not doing it. People are under the assumption. So let's look at it this way. So back in 2014, late 2014, when Exodus started, we started about like I think it was around August 27th. We started around then, and around then was when people were talking about this switch to MC. But every clan was around, and people were talking about people were still talking about how it's a dead game, but they weren't talking about how they're now talking about it now. It's like when December 31st was there. And then January 1st came around, January 1st, 2015. Oh, it's a 5-year-old game, guys. Sorry, I can't play this game. It's too old. Nope, we can't do competitive anymore. We can't do competitive. We can't do any of this stuff, guys. We got to pack our shit and we got to go to MCC, even though MCC is a shitty game. But we can't do any of this stuff. I don't get what people are thinking. MCC cannot support major clans. And when it comes to military clans, I've had C4 Bros and I've had many other guys say that on MCC you cannot support a successful clan. You cannot support a power. You cannot do the same things that you can on this game. So now there's no longer any really besides Eggs, besides HSC, besides 99th and like a couple other clans. There really is no, like you said, I agree with there is no other major military clans anymore. Just because I honestly there obviously is no solid answer. It could be just the time. Maybe in a month or two there'll be more to pop up. But honestly, it's just that I think it just has to do with the time. Like, and it sucks that people are so under the assumption, oh, this is a 5-year-old game, we can't do anything now, and all these other sweats that I know that move to MCC, they're like, oh, you still play Halo Reach? Oh, you're a Reach kid. People are now calling us Reach kids, which I think is hilarious because only a matter of months ago they were still playing Halo Reach. So, but I don't really have a solid answer to why there's no other like major military anymore.
Alright, so Halo MCC has had a latest patch and it has improved the game, and I think it improved joining session.
Hmm.
And joining session was probably the biggest thing that was a problem for MCC. Do you believe Exodus will probably move on to the next gen console?
When Halo 5 comes out, not for MCC. We are awaiting Halo 5 very, very patiently, and that's when we're making our move. That's how long we're going to be on Reach. We're not moving until Halo 5 comes out. So we will be, and we will continue to stay on top of the hill, I guess you could say, the figurative hill that is the community.
Now, a lot of people have also had. This is a question I'm going to be asking about myself, and that was a video of Reach's dying, and where I basically told people that clans needed to like expand onto other like platforms or stick together, such as MCC. Now, have you watched that video?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I watched that video, and like you said, a lot of people disagree with you. I'm not. I'm not. I'm gonna be honest. I do too. Yeah. Halo Reach isn't dying. It's all about where you come from. Your perspective on it. Like how you were in the UUF, how you left, how you decided to leave the UUF. You have a different perspective from someone like me who is running a successful clan on Reach. To me, Halo Reach is fucking banging right now. I love it. Like there are so many clans that are coming up out of the ashes now. There's so many clans that are starting new or starting up that no one's ever heard about that, but I'm pretty sure in a month or two we're going to be hearing about some of these new clans. You never know. Like anything can happen. It's a matter of your perspective. Like a game doesn't die unless you want it to. A game it's all about what you want and what you're looking for. If you're looking for a strong military clan, go join Exodus. If you're looking for a strong UNSC clan, join Navcom. If you're looking for a strong Sangheili clan, I mean, I think the Sangheili clan community is dead, but I think they're relatively good clans, maybe Divine Imperium. I would never suggest the RSL because all they like to do is 8v8s when they're not even really that good at them. But because they have yet to accept my challenge of an 8v8, and but it's all about your perspective. It's all about your perspective. And from mine, it's very good. It's very good. So I honestly think it has to do with what you came from and what has previously happened.
All right. So, is there anything you'd like to say before I ask you the final question?
Um so I don't think everyone understands what my commands are, and I just figured I'd shout them out because they deserve it. My commandos are obviously there is no such thing as commandos in life. Maybe there is, and I'm just ignorant. But my commandos specifically are the reason why we're insurrectionists. And this is because they go after UNSC clans. They go after S2s. They go after, well, their main enemy is an S2 because everyone compares them to S2s because they have a very similar training to S2s. And here recently, someone claimed that we use Navcom training maps. Don't insult me. Our training maps are a lot harder than Navcom's, but anyway. But we have. I've been trying to explain to people that not all of our clan has the same views as a lot of us do, but as a whole, we have seemed to latch on to that insurrectionist view, and the commandos are the purpose for that. The commandos are the special forces of Exodus. That is not to say that they're the most skilled. That's not what I mean when I say they're the special forces. They are the best at raiding. They are the most disciplined, and they are the best leaders in the clan. You can put a commando in. Commandos are trained to be put in any situation and to know what to do. You can take a commando, and if you previously had a division leader who left, you can take one commando. It can be any commando. Put him in that division leader spot, and that commando can lead a division until you get another replacement. They are trained in all purposes. And Shakey Savage was the one who started the commandos, and now the leaders of the commandos now are Wagner 501, is Wagner 501 is kind of like the main guy, kind of the main leader of Commandos now. But then there's also Shaky Bubbles and Shaky Shots, and they are the main leaders of Commandos. Some known Commandos that people should keep an eye out. If you're a UNSC clan, I'll be honest, you got to keep an eye out for these guys, because they're gonna join your games and they're gonna kill you. Like, they're gonna join your games and they're gonna start some shit because they don't like you guys. Look out for Irish Charlo. Look out for Shaky Riddick. Look out for Malevolent Apple. Look out for Shaky Disciple, who is previously Captain J Keys or previously Shinzan Zaidosi. There is Orange Slurp. There's Shaky Priest. There is so many others. There's a bunch of other Commandos. And you guys, honestly, this is a shout out, I guess you could say, to the UNSC clans. These guys are going to join your games and they're going to start some shit with you. Don't send me messages and be like, Divine, you have some guys in here killing my clan. Can you please tell them to leave? I'm literally going to read your message and I'm going to laugh. Like, if you guys want activity, I'm going to give you activity. I got some guys who are thirsty. They are thirsty for some UNSC clans to fucking die, honestly. They just don't like them. They're the reason why we are an insurrectionist clan. So yeah, that's what I guess I should just wanted to shout out my Commandos real fast.
Alright, so the final question that I usually ask everybody is, how do you believe we and everybody can improve or grow the Halo Clan community?
Even though I don't really prefer him, just because he seems to have stayed away from my I guess you could say my view. I've tried to be active with him. I've tried to get into meetings with him. I've tried to talk to him. Kingsywell, the leader of Imperium, I actually admire him for what he said one time. He is under the assumption that if you are a big clan, you get all these other clans to merge you, you're taking away their potential. You're taking away their ability to grow. So how I think the community can get better, let the weak clans stay that way and let them build on themselves. And if anything, help them out. Help them recruit, give them tips, train their guys, do whatever you can. But these little clans, you gotta leave them be. You gotta let them do their own thing. If they want practice raids, or even if they want actual raids, you show them. You don't hold back, because there needs to be something set in stone. There needs to be something that they can use as reference as, okay, this is a good clan and this isn't. So we need to strive to be this good clan. We have to let the small clans grow. We have to leave them alone and let them be. Even though we are insurrectionists and even though we do go after UNSC clans, we gotta leave them be. I will honestly say I will not go for a brand new clan, even if it's UN. I've done it before. I'm guilty of doing it before, but now I'm different. I've honestly changed. I'm not like that anymore. Even if a clan messes with me, talks shit, does all that kind of stuff, I'm not going to go for them. Perfect example, this new clan that has started called GWR or something like that is run by Dark Assassin. He has shit-talked Exodus up and down. Just crazy shit-talked us. Yet I'm not going to go after him because his clan is of no threat and probably will never be. But you gotta leave him alone. You gotta leave those types of clans alone because they gotta have some room to grow. So yeah.
Alright, I believe that is it. Is there anything you'd like to say once again? Or
No. I'm all good. Thank you for letting me do this with you.
Alright, so that was Shakey Divine. Thank you for coming on this interview.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Anyways, guys, if you guys enjoyed, be sure to subscribe to this channel. Also, check out Halo Clan followers for any Halo Clan news. Leave a like on this video and comment down on what you guys believe, or basically comment down what you guys thought about Shakey Divine's views and thoughts about the community. I'm pretty sure he might respond to it.
Oh yeah. I can't promise they'll be the nicest of responses. If your response isn't that nice, I can't promise that mine won't be nice either.
Anyways, guys, that is it for this video. Talk to you guys all later. Bye.